Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sunday night. What'd you think of the fights last night? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Man, that was the best card and some of the best fights I think that the UFC has ever put on. Watching Chris Weidman's leg snap, oh, that was gruesome. Man, and how ironic. Like, that's the way Anderson Silva went out when he fought Weidman the second time, and then it happened to Weidman, man. And Rose Namajunas knocking out with the head kick Weili, and Usman KOing Masvidal, man, unbelievable. Shevchenko, she's just like, I forgot to mention Shevchenko in my video yesterday. I mean, she is just unbelievable. Anyway, great fights, great fights. We got a big week coming up. Big week, big week. Bank of Japan meeting on Tuesday, Fed meeting on Wednesday, U.S. first quarter GDP released on Thursday, Euro area GDP released on Friday. There's going to be a lot of numbers flying around all week. The dollar has been weak. A lot of these prognosticators, these forecasters, who, by the way, a lot of them, if you've been following some of these people, and they're well known, I mean, now they've been talking for a while. This is like going back to February, March, about how strong U.S. economic growth is going to cause the dollar to surge higher. I mean, there was a guy, I remember a guy, pretty well known analyst, I guess, he's on Twitter, and he said that, and I said, oh, really? I mean, with record fiscal and trade deficits, he's like, yeah, that's the way it works. And I said, all right, I'm going to go short. And, you know, here we are. Dollar's weak. It's not about the economic growth. If it were about the economic growth, it would be really easy to trade the Forex market, right? I mean, let's face it. If it was just a matter of sitting around and looking at a GDP number or economic trends, exchange rates are not set that way, all right? And they're basically set by policy and price setting being, you know, what the central banks do. Look, I made that video last week, I think, on the curve. You could tell, I mean, the markets tell you where the currency is going based on, you know, rates and fiscal policy. You can see it in the curve, the term structure of the forward, you know, prices of currencies. I don't know, like, you know, I talk about this so much. I try to help you guys. There's a lot of misinformation or misunderstanding out there, and people think, you know, there's these simple axiomatic rules that apply universally, and all you have to do is look at that rule and you're going to make money. Like, economic growth automatically means the currency is going to go up. I mean, China has massive economic growth. It has a relatively weak currency, and there are reasons for that. That is China's policy with respect to its currency. If it was just about economic growth, I mean, China's currency would be blowing through the roof. Let's face it. So anyway, you have that going on. You got a lot of things going on. Folks, I don't really do political commentary. All right? I mean, if you follow me, you know, most of the stuff I talk about is economics with an MMT perspective. I talk about markets. I talk about trading. If I talk about politics at all, it is in the context of policy, and policy how it applies to the markets. So, and I don't like to be labeled or pigeonholed. I mean, I don't believe in labels. I'll disclose some information for you. I've always been a registered Republican. I think I'm conservative on most issues. But I don't just automatically, reflexively vote that way or see things through that prism. All right? Sometimes I might lean a little bit more liberal. Sometimes I might lean a little bit more conservative. I mean, I'm not one who's going to be labeled. So, and I like to talk in the current reality. What do I mean by that? I look at the facts, I look at the data. So when I say that over the last 40 years, fiscal policy has been directed towards wealthy people and corporate profits, that's a fact. That's true. I mean, if you look at any gauge of labor's participation or labor's share of GDP, in other words, what is the percent share that labor got out of the wealth, the real wealth that was created? It's just been going down for 40 years. And that is a function of policy. When I say something like that, and then when I say, you know what? If you look at that 40-year period and the economy has rarely, if ever, grown faster than 3% a year, and then if you look prior to that period, in the 50s and the 60s when it was growing like 6%, 7%, maybe that's telling us something. Maybe that's telling us that a fiscal policy which is directed at a broader swath, a broader percentage of the population, it might end up to be better for the economy overall. So then if somebody takes that as my political view against a certain, viewpoint, like, oh, you're against conservatives because you're saying something like that. I mean, folks, that's just ludicrous. I'm just saying, here's what happened. We can look at it. Here were the policies that caused that particular thing to happen. Here's what happened prior or before those policies. It was a lot different. It was a lot stronger. Hey, maybe it would be good for the economy if we shift back to something more along the lines of what we had prior to, whatever you want to call it, trickle down, supply side, Reaganomics, whatever you want to call it. That's not expressing a political point of view. That's an economics point of view based on an analysis of what has happened. Not trying to exclude anybody, not trying to say to anybody, hey, I don't want your business. And by the way, it's not about getting business. I'm here to teach and instruct. I got over 40 years of doing this. Floor trader on 4 different exchanges, money manager for a major bank, trader for a major hedge fund. The whole mental game thing that I've, been through myself and which I've kind of developed into a science. I'm here to teach. I'm here to help people out. I'm not trying to exclude anybody. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But I mean, when I state something, it's not political, it's policy, and it's based on the current reality or on reality, period. I just wanted to make that clear. Like, I don't want to be mislabeled. All right? That's it. I just wanted to clear the air on that and let you know where I stand. Other than that, everything's cool. Sunday night, coming into a new week. We should see some good numbers. And we're not going to see any rate changes from the Bank of Japan or from the Fed. But you know what happens, particularly on Fed Day, we'll see some volatility. But, I'll talk about that before it happens. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.